The child should have sensed the danger lurking behind, but exhaustion and fear clouded his judgment. He followed the haunting melody of the piper, its eerie tune a stark contrast to the destruction he'd left behind. The music seeped into his very being, lending him the strength to push forward through the biting cold of winter's embrace. The forest seemed to swallow all sound, save for the piper's enchanting song. Time stood still in this realm of gnarled roots and snow-laden branches. Flakes drifted down from a sky that appeared to be unraveling, as if celestial beings engaged in a cosmic pillow fight, oblivious to the inferno consuming the village below. "Flee," his father had urged, shoving him through the back door of their humble abode, the one that led to the barn. And flee he did, stumbling through the snow and muck, vision blurred by tears. He paused, overcome with shame for abandoning his family, even though his father no longer resembled the man he once knew. There was a time when his father stood tall and proud, the village's most respected craftsman, people said. But then the curse took hold, twisting his limbs and warping his features until he became a stranger in his own skin. The piper's song grew louder, more insistent. It beckoned the child deeper into the forest, away from the horrors that pursued him. He hesitated, torn between the allure of safety and the guilt of leaving everything behind. Shadows danced at the edge of his vision, taking on monstrous forms. Were they real or merely figments of his terrified imagination? The piper's melody seemed to whisper promises of sanctuary, of a place where fear and sorrow could not follow. With each step, the forest grew denser, the trees pressing in around him like silent sentinels. Their branches reached out, snagging his clothes, as if trying to hold him back. But still he pressed on, drawn by the irresistible call of the unseen musician. The ground beneath his feet changed, from snow-covered earth to a carpet of fallen leaves. The air grew warmer, filled with the scent of spring despite the winter's chill that still clung to his bones. It was as if he had stepped into another world entirely, one untouched by the ravages of time and tragedy. In the distance, a figure began to take shape. Cloaked in shadows and mystery, the piper stood at the edge of a clearing, fingers dancing over an instrument that gleamed with an otherworldly light. The child's heart raced, a mixture of fear and anticipation coursing through his veins. The piper turned, revealing a face that was both ageless and ancient, kind and terrible. With a gesture, the music swelled, wrapping around the child like a warm embrace. In that moment, all thoughts of home, of the life he'd left behind, began to fade like mist in the morning sun. A choice lay before him: to follow the piper into the unknown, or to turn back and face the horrors that had driven him this far. The child hesitated, memories of his parents, his village, flashing through his mind. But the pull of the music was too strong, the promise of escape too tempting. With a final, trembling step, he crossed the threshold into the clearing. The forest seemed to sigh around him, branches swaying in a non-existent breeze. The piper's song reached a crescendo, and the world began to shimmer and blur. As reality twisted and reformed around him, the child caught one last glimpse of the world he was leaving behind. In that fleeting moment, he saw the village engulfed in flames, heard the distant cries of those he'd left behind. But it was too late for regret, too late to turn back. The piper's melody wove a new tapestry of reality, painting visions of wondrous lands and fantastical adventures. With each note, the memories of home grew fainter, replaced by the promise of a life free from pain and fear. And so the child followed the piper into legend, becoming part of a tale that would be whispered around firesides for generations to come. A cautionary story of the power of music, the allure of escape, and the price of leaving everything behind. As the last echoes of the song faded away, the forest returned to its slumber. Snow continued to fall, covering the child's footprints, erasing all evidence of his passage. In time, even the memory of the village and its tragic fate would fade, lost to the mists of history. But somewhere, in a realm beyond mortal understanding, the piper's song played on. And with it, the spirit of a child who chose to follow its call, forever caught between the world he left behind and the promise of what lay ahead.
When the night gets bright and the stars align, we stir up dreams in cosmic time. A little stardust, a little tune, you're mixing it with the moon.